Welcome to Pody Says Malicious Compliance, where people conform to the letter, but not the spirit of the request.
Hi, and thanks for tuning in. We are back with another story about landlords doing their best to be a total piece of shit from the subreddit r/MaliciousCompliance. I plan to tell you about it in a hot second. But before I do start, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Alright, here we go. Landlord wants me to show my apartment while I'm still in it. He threatened legal action if I didn't comply. So now every potential renter gets the grand tour of every single thing the landlord has failed to fix, as well as how egregiously long it's been since I requested repair. Additionally, they get a detailed explanation of how the management company stole my $10,000 overpayment and how I've been living rent-free for months because they refused to give it back. They can keep sending people if they want. I'll keep laughing my ass off. Everyone has been like, oh my god, thank you. Update. Thanks for the support, everyone. I've gotten zero work done, so I think I need to stop responding, but appreciate the collective fuck you to slimy landlords. Edit for clarity. I'm trying to leave out identifying details. I paid a lump sum, not realizing that I was overpaying. The credit was for more than the rest of the lease term. They refused to refund me, so I have just stayed past the lease, not paying. They don't fix things, and there is 0% chance the apartment will be ready to rent one day after the end of the month, which is when my unofficial month-to-month lease ends. So they are just being greedy. Nobody's looking for a June 1st rental this early. It's all May 1st. Like I said, that's physically impossible. Also, it's a pandemic. I don't want strangers in my home for no actual reason. Oh man, trying to show a rental in the middle of a pandemic? How ridiculous can these people be? What, do they expect you to go around disinfecting your own stuff just so other people can come in? I don't think so. Plus, there's got to be some sort of legal option here. I mean, if you overpaid and they won't give it back, have you consulted a lawyer? There might be something going on here. Really shifty. Good luck, OP. Alright, let's check with the community. Day Shift Dave says, how did you accidentally overpay your rent by $10,000? Platypus Pup chimes in. HSBC decided to make weekly payments instead of monthly payments for me when I was a student. I called in, they fixed it, and gave me my overdraw fees back. The next month it started again. I called again. They said they needed to review the tapes from the previous call. A week later, I get an apology letter and £50 for my trouble. I was shocked they actually dealt with it decently. Crispy Treat 04 chimes in too. I had one real estate manager that told me many times how amazing he was for not charging me an extra month because technically he could, as I had to hand over my key on the first of said month. He forgot that it was landlord and him that set the date for the first, not me. I moved out a week prior, so even if he decided to charge me, I would drag his ass to court and win by a landslide. And another one that threatened to send me the bill for the removal of curtains, blinds, stuff like that I left after moving out, until I reminded him of the fact that they were already there when I moved in. Made it very clear prior to getting the key that I had no interest in them, as the previous tenants tried to get me to pay even more than what the brand new value was for them. And then both of these tenants and the real estate manager told me multiple times that it would be removed. But surprise, surprise, still there when I entered for the first time after getting the key, and all of a sudden the previous tenants and manager were nowhere to be found. Until I decided to move out, of course. Renting sucks. Alright, that's enough of that story. Let's move on to the next one. If you want to make it a whole thing, go ahead and call the cops. Let's. My usually not irresponsible teenager lost his phone and just realized it while competing in a district track meet that he was invited to, for the discus. This fueled my urgency to find his phone more than its value or anything else. I had my daughter use her Find My Phone app to see it at a local convenience store. I refreshed the search to see that it was hovering around the space of the store and the parking lot, almost back and forth between two locations. I tell my daughter I'm taking her phone with me to the store to retrieve it in between my son's events, 100-meter discus and shot put. I arrive through the doors a la Kramer from Seinfeld, phone up and in hand like I'm on a timed scavenger hunt. The clerk gets suddenly shifty, looking at me, then looking away, then looking at his customer. Understandable with how I entered. I jumped in line, patiently waiting for the customer in front of me to interview the clerk about the state lottery system. A barrage of ridiculous questions that even I couldn't write up. Finally, it's my turn, and now I'm the only customer in here. I also noticed that upon refreshing the app I was using, it hasn't moved since I entered the store. I begin with what would be a line of my own questions. Hey, my son lost his iPhone and this app says it's near here. Has anyone turned in a phone? The line clerk says, Nope. I retort, Could you look around and see, because I've refreshed this over the past 20 minutes and it's here. Liar McLiarstein continues his poorly spun web of lies. I don't know anything about it, man, so quit bothering me. You lost your phone, get over it. Dude, it's here. Where's my phone? If you want to make it a whole thing, go ahead and call the cops. See what they do. Oh, let's do that. Now I know that I can ping the phone to make noise, but I don't know if he's got it in his car, in the back room locked up, or somewhere I can't go without getting arrested. Like behind his counter. I call the cops and explain the situation as well as my suspicions. The police asks what app I used, if it's active, if I have more evidence that it's in his possession. I explained that I didn't want to ping it yet until they could help. They agreed to send a car out. I wait outside at the next door, Dutch bros out of his line of sight, hoping he was convinced I left. The police arrived and I flagged them to me, showing him the app. They also took my ID, which was weird, but whatever. We end up entering the store together as I ping the phone. Blip. Blip. It's in his office. He answers questions as he gets cuffed. I get the phone back to the track meet in time to just miss him getting second in discus. At insult, to those who keep hemming and hawing over my not pressing charges, know that this isn't even the first time or the worst time. I didn't press charges on a convenience store employee. I wish I was better at tagging my content. Anyway, to those who chide me for not pressing charges, for not believing in second chances, may you get 3 of your toes stuck in the hole of your ripped jeans every time you try to put them on. Ooh, that's mean right there. That sucks. I always wondered that. I see people walking around with ripped jeans, like really big holes in them. Like, it probably takes you more time to put them on to make sure you don't rip them more. Or I guess maybe they were small holes and they just ended up that big because of that exact same problem. Anyway, I digress. In this day and age, why do people think it's gonna be easy to take a phone? I mean, come on. Everybody is gonna be able to find it. Like, it's so hard not to. Everybody walks around with a little GPS in their pocket. Some people are just not that bright. Ergo, I guess maybe a convenience store clerk? But I don't want to insult anybody that's a convenience store clerk and an upstanding citizen, so I won't say that. What other comments do we have from the community before I get myself in trouble? Lucifer Loves Techno starts off. I once helped track down my friend's phone that she dropped in a Walmart parking lot. We followed the ping to another Walmart across town. Saw a minivan parked off to the side, right where it was pinging. They drove off as we approached, but we tracked them to a fast food parking lot. I went and knocked on their window. They swore up and down they did not have it. I hit the button to make it ring. The Rick and Morty theme song starts playing from the bag sitting in the 55-ish-year-old man's lap. We got the phone back. FL55 says, what did the guy tell the cops? Did you hear any of the conversation? The OP responds, I was torn, dying to hear, but the second officer was giving me a pamphlet and explaining stuff. I was just happy to get it back. Didn't want to press charges only because of time constraints. I know he was answering questions and he said I know and yeah and no intermittently. Not sure if he's going to jail or warning, but he was cuffed, zip-tied for sure. Yeah, I can understand the not wanting to waste time. Hopefully it works out to be like one of those scared straight moments where he gets, freaked out enough and doesn't want to do it again. But I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. Anyway, moving on to the next story. Oh, you want to make sure line items are charged by the book? You got it. I accept purchase orders for a shipping company, and one of our customers is known for sending in shitty POs. Bad pricing, old items, details wrong, all of it. At first, I tried to correct it with them, but was ignored. The totals were mostly close, so our policy was basically just match the PO. So they sent in a PO which should have totaled around $12,000, but with their fucked up math, came out to like $10,800. Owner gives them leeway for this, so I take it. price all the items as the PO states, and move on. Later, they call. One item in the PO should be like $3.50, and they paid $3.60. I says to them, "Look here, I just matched your PO." They compare against the price list and realize they put the wrong cost. They paid a bit more for that item. The woman proceeds to blame me for the mistake, as I should have caught the discrepancy and said something. I said, "You are exactly right." So I repriced everything with her on the phone, saving their biggest losses until the end. When I told her the new total they actually owed us, she said, "Oh, we won't worry about the discrepancy now," and blathered on. I said, "No worries. I'll make a note in your account to review all orders for discrepancies from here on out," and haven't heard back. They're about to be unhappy. Man, think about that. People complaining about 10 cents. See, let that be a lesson to you people. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill, because it might end up being a mountain. Let's see what else the community says. Init Malcanis says, "Make sure to send them an up-to-date copy of your price list, CC'd to the owner, so there are no bullshit, 'We didn't know the SKU X cost $Y' excuses." Stabmaster says, "Make sure to forward all that to your boss, indicating that they were insistent on checking for accuracy." I'm sure whoever it was that made them call over the 10 cents is going to have a very crappy meeting coming up soon. Unknown Kidda says, "Worked at a company. I was not in ordering, but order reviews and checks was a paid service. If customer ordered wrong, that was on them. If they wanted us to verify and check, then it was $100 per hour. And we had a couple of customers that paid for that."
Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, and by the way, can you subscribe for no reason?